Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Mass. Here we have Lucas on a Renin 6 deck. He actually just picked up the final dual land he needed to really be able to play pretty much anything in the format. And we'll see if he ended up going with a Delver variant or a more of a control version. There's so many flavors right now of Renin 6. And Matt is on a very spicy blue-green Eureka tell, and this Fiery Islet into Delver gives us the answer for Lucas. He is on the Delver plan. This is going to be much more aggressive and perhaps better equipped for the Eureka matchup. We'll see. Oh, Lotus Petal into Brainstorm. That gets Force of Willed. And Matt actually had the land. Very interesting. So he signals that this is an all-in Brainstorm, going with just a Lotus Petal, and Lucas buys into the narrative and Force of Wills it. Usually that's a very good thing for a deck like Show and Tell if they waste their force on a Brainstorm. But both Delvers flipping here, this life total quickly eroding. Lightning Bolt, one of the more dangerous cards that can be shown, is Lucas here may just be outracing whatever Matt wants to do. That Brainstorm may have been bait, but from here it really looks like it might have been the most important card in the hand. Fiery Islet goes away now to get an extra card in hand. From here, Lucas just has to hold on one more turn. And what a surprising turn of events there. So Matt kind of sold the story on turn one. Lucas bought it. And it ended up being that Brainstorm was probably the more important card. Being able to draw 3 and shuffle would have really changed the look of that entirely. He had the Show and Tells. He just needed something to go along with it. And really anything that he can put in is going to trump Delvers. Even Gristlebrand just as a 7/7 would really be good enough. That lifelink would stop the swing. And if he does attack into the pair of Delvers, it's possible Lucas might double block and try and bolt to take down that Gristlebrand. But that's kind of like a worst case scenario. You can still draw cards. So, yeah, I don't know. Very, very interesting. If he was exactly at 7, that does complicate things. They might just stare for a little while. But still, Emrakul, very, very good versus Delver strategies. One of the few decks in the format that Emrakul's actually just like really good against. Most decks have a ton of ways of dealing with Emrakul. It doesn't seem like that would be the case, but it's just kind of how it plays out. There's just a lot of ways to deal with him, even though he has protection from colored spells. Liliana's Triumph, multiple Planeswalkers like Jace and Liliana the Veil can handle him. Karakas, a very played card. But yeah, Renin 6 Control doesn't typically have access to any of those cards. So a little bit softer to Emrakul. But it is fairly well equipped to fight on the stack. You've got Force of Will, Force of Negation, Daze, Spell Pierce, a bunch of cheap counters, and just looking to land a threat and ride it out, and that's exactly what we're looking at here. Now, Matt notably does have Show and Tell in hand, electing not to play it, as he doesn't have any backup. We can see that Lucas does have Daze. Oh, and Force, just talking about not having backup. There it is, Force of Will right off of the top. Now, does he have a blue card that he'd actually want to pitch? I believe he's got Omniscience and Cunning Wish. That is a little awkward. You don't actually want to force back pitching either of those. And Eureka, not exactly a card you want to play off of your Omniscience. So, yeah, Matt's going to have to stay pat here for a little bit. Young Pyromancer chipping away. If Lucas can play a few cantrips, this will get out of hand fairly fast. Pithing Needle. Likely naming Gristlebrand. And now this Misty Rainforest can fetch a basic forest and allow for a Eureka, or he can just cast the Show and Tell and be able to pay for days. I think I'd probably lead out with Show and Tell. No, but he's going to go with Eureka. Lucas floating one and dazing. And he's kind of in the same boat. You really don't want to force losing any of those key cards. And unfortunately, adding to Lucas's clock now. Now 3 damage a turn. And Lucas still with no cantrips. And that does send a little bit of a signal that he likely has a bunch of counters in hand. If he's not cantripping on his turn to increase the clock. Now a Tropical Island into another Eureka. This one getting Spell Pierced. Another Elemental, turning this into a 3-turn clock. And Matt could force pitching Show and Tell here if he thinks Lucas is out of counters. Would he be correct? Brainstorm, Red Blast. Ooh, looks like that might have been the window. Of course, how can you know that? Would have forced him to have a pitch counter. Oh no, it looks like there's a Force of Negation in hand. That may have been there before. Or may have been the card for turn. So difficult to tell. And Matt's life total desperately low now. Facing down these young Pyromancers and friends. Another Volcanic added to the mix. A little bit of slowdown here, but the game is just speeding up. We've got a Force of Will that gets, a Lightning Bolt that gets Force of Willed off of Ancient Tomb, only saving 1 point of life. And actually gonna be irrelevant. He's gonna be able to play right through it, attacking with his elementals, and he shows them still got all these, and that is it. So Delver proving to be a tough matchup here for this Eureka Tell build. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.